Did he really?
So now, I think he sold some property, he's got some capital gains, he's got to go, he may buy a place up there.
Marcus?
Well, he went up on Thursday, and Cindy and Mark are coming up tomorrow and staying overnight to look around the place. That'd be fun, there'd be plenty of places for everybody to come up to see.
Yeah, that's right.
Is Alexander?
Who's flying?
Alexander's a month old today.
Careful, be very gentle.
It's a month today?
Yep.
This is her 1 month birthday?
Fine, this is a 1 month birthday.
Hey, you hear that, guys? This is Alexandra's 1 month birthday. She's 1 month old today.
Yes.
What do you think about that, Kristen?
No, it's not a car. You put it on your
1
foot.
month old today.
See?
Wow.
This is big compared to where she was.
Baby Alexandra. Hello, baby Alexandra. Yes, she's a very good little girl, very sweet.
Oh, did you see that?
Well, that little plate should be done. They usually it takes about 6 to 8 weeks to get done. They hand paint it in Belgium and cook it in Belgium, and then.
Why can't you do that?
What day is it?
Halloween!
What year?
October 6th.
Whoa, look at this.
Mom, can you put my other candy on there?
Uh-oh, there's a lot of shaking going on.
Next year, I'm going to bring a sweet pillowcase.
A pillowcase, huh? That's probably good. Did you run out of room?
Yep.
You filled up with candy before you finished? What's that? An eye. What's Carson got? What do you got that's interesting, Carson? Anything that's really unusual?
Oh, bazooka gum. All I want is bubblegum. Bazooka, bazooka, bubblegum. I got this one. This is my first time.
Let's see that costume.
All I want is bubblegum. Oh, I gotta take it off. It's so hot.
For today, it's like 70 degrees, 65 degrees when you guys are walking around.
Yeah.
What you got, Carson? Let's see this candy. Holy moly, look at all that candy. You got a gift bag and all kinds of stuff.
You got
And a leaf. You got a leaf.
It's a moth. Uh-oh.
And a moth.
Show them off.
Gavin got a moth.
No, I didn't there.
Look at all Gavin's candy. Oh, man. How many houses do you think you went to?
That's right.
Throw it in the goal. That's just like third of the goal.
Go, Carson.
Carson, steal it.
Hi there, that's Dylan and Reese. Good, how you doing?
Good.
Oh, Dylan and Reese. Reese and then, Evan, that's it. Okay. How you guys doing?
That's good.
You gonna play baseball in the fall?
Someone get by the ball.
That was a leftover Halloween costume that got left in a chair. So when I opened my chair, it fell out.
Guys, attack him! Guys, steal the ball! Steal the ball! Did you get that out, Dave?
I did.
Oh!
Go, go, go!
Good job. Great ball. Great ball.
Carson, good.
Go, get the ball. Get the ball.
Steal it! Carson, get it! Get it!
Check it.
Get it! Carson,
Get by the goal.
Oh.
steal it, Carson!
Can't say it's much about the weather. What do you do about that?
Here, guys. No, leave that. Just a snack, food stuff. Guys, man, go sit in the grass right here. Guys, sit over here. Guys, shake your knee. Have fun, right? So I'm glad everybody had a great time this year.
Yeah!
I think the team.
Yeah!
Offense, come get it. Dan, get up and get it.
Push it, Ben! Get it out!
Get back, Danny. Gavin, go.
No, they lost.
Well, he's got to leave in like 15 minutes.
Back him up, Jack.
All right, we got the coaches in there. Go. Oh my gosh. Yeah, take your glasses off.
Stop it, okay? This might get hurt.
It's been a lot of seasons, and
It doesn't hurt.
this, I don't say this every time, this is the best group of kids we have ever had. We had a great team this year. You guys, they all try hard.
You were the real iron.
Nice job.
Yeah, you were. You got hit like a million times and never.
Danny O'Day. Danny. That's a great jump. Oh, he's got leaves all over his face. Uh-oh, there goes the Gavarino. And there's Bennett. Here comes Gavin. Oh, safe. Safe at leaf base. You guys are all safe. I can't see Carson anymore. He's gone. He disappeared. Oh, I see a hand. I see a hand. He's still there somewhere. I can't see him anymore.
What?
Here he comes. There he is. Leafman. He's almost as strong as Batman and Superman. It's the famous Leafman to the rescue. Gavin, what day is it, bud?
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving. Wow.
Yeah, I do.
What do you think?
It looks like you're recording every moment of your life.
No, I wouldn't say that. It's too complex to do that.
Tyler, hold on. I got
to say?
I have something to
What are
say.
you, a mime?
You're going down.
Hey, careful, careful.
I have something to say.
Just because you saw all those NFL films doesn't mean you get to play tackle football.
Let's see.
We're just going to talk about how you ended up being in the Army and what year that was.
1945, I think.
What happened? Were you drafted?
Oh, yeah.
Carson, why don't you go back outside?
And how did you get your draft notice?
Mail.
In the mail, huh? You just got a letter that said, hey, Joe Seggy's got to show up at this particular day, this particular time to
Greetings.
hello from the United States Army.
Yeah.
Right? Did you know you were going in the Army then, or did it just say Armed Services?
I wanted to go to the Coast Guard, but my eyesight wasn't good enough.
Oh, I see. So, what month was it? Was it summertime, wintertime,
I don't remember.
when you showed up for training?
I think it was in fall.
In the fall?
Yeah.
And where did you have to go for your induction? I'm sure you had to take a physical first. They determined you were probably acceptable to come in the Army?
Great Lakes somewhere in Shaker.
Great Lakes Naval Station, maybe.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Yeah, we have to go outside.
And so they brought you in for your initial training.
Get another
Yeah, I was a war hero.
Sorry?
I was a war hero.
Oh, I know you're a war hero. But where did you go for your basic training?
I
I think it was in, Mississippi.
Because I remember you talked about a lot of Southern guys were in your unit, right?
Yeah.
You were kind of mixed up Ohio guys with guys from Alabama.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And they
some of the guys never even wore shoes.
some of the guys never wore shoes.
From Mississippi.
And it took you a while to get to understand their accents, right?
Yeah, quite a lot of fights too.
Quite a lot of fights between
Yeah.
people in the unit?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember anything about the training? Rifle training, rifle qualification?
Oh yeah.
All that?
I was a sharpshooter.
You're a pretty good shot then.
Yeah.
And what kind of targets did they use? Did people have to go out?
No. They had a pit, and the guy would raise the target, and when you shot, they'd lower it and see where the bullet hit.
Until they give you a sign as whether it was good or bad?
Yeah.
Huh? That's pretty neat. So much for the automated computer systems they have now, right?
Yeah, I guess.
So
then I went into the fire direction center. That's what I liked. I fought the war with the slide rule.
So how did you find out you were going to be in the artillery instead of the infantry?
Because my father told me never be a truck driver and never going into the infantry. So I don't know how I managed it, but I wound up in the fire direction center with a slide rule. And I loved it. That's what I liked.
So you finished basic training in Mississippi.
Yeah.
And then you went to Fort Sill, Oklahoma to learn skills as a artillery person.
Yeah.
And you were a fire direction specialist?
Yep.
So you learned how to chart rounds going into the impact area?
Yep.
And Blockhouse on Signal Mountain? Do you remember that? Out in Oklahoma?
Vaguely, yeah, vaguely.
I remember talking to you about some things at Fort Sill. There were a lot of Indians still in the town?
Yeah, there were.
What do you remember about that?
I remember the squaws had to walk behind them, as I remember. And when he stopped, they stopped. And they just stood behind them and never said a word.
Wow. And I remember you said there were a lot of them that were begging for money in downtown?
Oh, yeah. And they gave them money, they drank. The alcohol would just render them senseless. They could not drink, really. So,
do you remember much about Lawton, Oklahoma at the time?
Not too much, no.
And what kind of guns did they train you with when you were working with the guns? What kind?
75 millimeters.
75 millimeter?
Yeah.
Howitzers?
Yeah. They were easy, but 90 millimeters were devils. They were really beasts.
And what do you think about the people that were the leaders, the people that were teaching you?
Oh, they were all right. We had a lot of resentment because the Southerners weren't as educated, and the Northerners came in and took over all the important jobs. And there was a lot of fighting. And the Southerners sure could fight.
Well, you had some college education, right?
Yeah, I had 2 or 2.5 years when I went in the Army. So I was very smart, smart ass.
Yeah, I remember you were promoted to corporal.
Yeah.
And how long that lasted?
I got busted 4 times. I got up to staff sergeant, that lasted 2 days.
And what did they get you for each of the 4 times?
Well, the last time I called my captain, Captain Dupree, a dirty lying son of a, son of a bee. And he was standing right behind me.
Uh-oh.
So I said, sir, I said it behind your back. I'll tell it to your face. And said it the second time. And he says, Corporal, I'll see you in the, what do we call it?
Article 15, maybe, or?
Well, he wanted me in the office, wherever you call it.
Oh.
And then he called me private. And I was a private again. I was busted 4 times.
Do you remember what he did to invoke that comment from you?
Oh yeah, he was trying to get rid of my buddy Joe Plass.
Why was he doing that?
He didn't like him. He had an intense like for him, and I told him to his face, you know, that he shouldn't do that.
Uh-huh.
So I was a corporal. I was a private class, and I got made and broken 4 times. So I came out of the war, I think, a private first class. Anyway, something like that.
Did Joe Blass stay in the unit, or did?
Oh yeah, no, he stayed in the unit. Yeah. He was a good soldier.
You probably saved him.
But he didn't like officers.
Oh yeah, I'm sure a lot of soldiers didn't like officers.
Well, you know. Oh, some of them were good, you know, but the Army's the Army.
So how do you know whether you were going to go to the European theater or to the Pacific? And did you have any say in that?
No. I was hoping not to go with the European, Pacific. I wanted to go to the European theater. And that's how we landed up.
How'd you get from the United States to Europe?
Oh, I don't remember. I think it was on a boat.
On a ship?
Yeah.
Did you go through New York City? Do you remember?
Yeah, I think we did. No, Boston.
Oh, out of Boston.
Yeah, and I remember when I had a night on the town and went to the restaurant. They said, what do you want to eat, soldier? I said, some Boston baked beans. He said, we don't have any Boston baked beans.
Never heard of such a thing?
Yeah, I never heard of it. Yeah.
That is funny how those things start to happen.
Yeah, so I never got, well, I got some baked beans, but I don't know if they were Boston baked beans or not.
Anything else you remember from that trip in Boston?
No.
And where did you land in Europe? Did you land in England?
We landed in Gerlach, Scotland. Gerlach, yeah. And I was the first guy going to land in from the unit because I was diving in the water, and the current was very strong, so I struck out for shore. And I was waiting for them when the rest of the guys came. And I was in trouble then too.
You jumped off the boat?
Yeah. I didn't know how strong the tide was, you know. So it blew me right into the shore. I couldn't get back to the boat.
Whoa.
So there I stood, a war hero, naked as very naked.
But you made it to the shore?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. 'Cause, I don't like drowning, you know.
Yeah.
So
how long were you in Scotland?
Not too long. No, not too long.
And then how did you finally end up
I don't remember that.
in France?
I don't remember that. All I know in Scotland was the girls wore 2 or 3 pair of socks, one over the other, because it was so cold.
I can't believe that.
Yeah.
That doesn't make them very attractive, though.
Oh, they were attractive.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were attractive. But that's all I know. And then we went to.
So what unit were you? I'm sure the unit you were in Scotland was the one you went into
Yeah.
the war with.
Yeah.
What unit? What division?
179 Field Artillery, and I was in headquarters battery in the fire direction center. So I fought the war with the slide rule.
179th Field Artillery?
Yeah. And then it became the 945th. At the end of the war, that's when it was in the 945th Field Artillery.
945th Field Artillery Battalion?
Yeah, headquarters battery.
And so the whole time you were in the headquarters battery, doing fire direction for all the 3 batteries?
Yep.
There were 3 batteries in each of the units?
Yeah, I had B battery.
Oh, you were in B battery?
Yeah.
Or you had the fire direction responsibility for B battery?
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. So it was interesting, but not very. I never saw any danger in that. Oh yeah, there was danger, all right. We always went into a school or a church or a basement somewhere, or in a house, because we had, we had no actual contact with the enemy. We were behind the lines. But they knew what a headquarters battery was, and if they had a reason to think we were in that building, they would blow the hell out of it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
One time I climbed a church tower to take pictures, and they thought I was
A forward observer?
yeah, forward observer. So all the guns poured down on that church.
Wow.
And I heard a lot of officers telling, get that SOP out of that church tower.
How close did the rounds come to you?
Very close.
Too close, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And after I got home, long after I got home, I had about maybe 1,000 pictures. I burned them all, every one of them.
I know. That's a shame. That
That was so stupid. I'm a stupid guy because that was one of the best I've ever done. All those pictures.
Yeah.
Some of them we developed in combat.
How did you develop them in combat?
The fellas looked for cameras. Then the word got out that I knew how to, develop and print pictures. So they got me all these boxes of chemicals, and it was written in Swiss, and and I had to develop chemicals by trial and error. I found out what was what, and and then I got it was a camera, I guess, and I made an enlarger. I built that myself, and then I took pictures of the guys, and I would take a picture of them and enlarge it, and then I sold them for $1 an enlargement, or whatever I could get.
Uh-huh.
And that's what I did. And I would have all the chemicals and all, to get march order, and I'd throw everything in a bag, and off we go. And then any time I had some leisure time, then I would set up my studio and print my pictures.
Wow.
And I sent a lot of them home just to film, and I told my parents, just have the film developed, but don't have any prints made. So when I came home, I did a lot of printing. Hundreds and hundreds of prints made. Out of the 3 trays. The developer, the neutralizer, whatever.
Uh-huh.
And that's what I did.
Did you give away a lot of copies to your buddies?
Oh yeah, yeah.
So they may still have some of those copies, huh?
Oh yeah.
Ones that are left?
Yeah, and then I burned all the pictures.
Right.
I was moving out of the house as I lived in all my life, and I was very distraught. And I thought, well, it's a new beginning, so I took the pictures and burned them. That's very stupid. But pictures are all gone. So that's it.
Do you remember which divisions you worked with? What the field artillery unit was attached to certain divisions?
No, yeah, but I don't remember.
But I know you worked with in Patton's army at one time, and you
Yeah.
saw him.
Yeah, oh yeah, I saw him and I talked to him. The only time I really remember he had this private, bawling the private out because he didn't have his uniform the right way. Private, his back was so straight it was almost bowed. And I took an intense dislike to Patton. He was called Blood and Guts. His blood and our guts, we said.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what we thought of Patton. But he was a good general. He was a darn good general.
You said you saw him a couple times, right?
Oh yeah,
More than
yeah,
a couple times?
yeah.
Pearl-handed revolvers?
Yeah, I was right behind the major in the Jeep, and we were sitting there, and the major had the motor running, and he was talking in a microphone. Patton roared up, and he says, "Major," he says, "do you know how far I have to have this gasoline hauled over here? Over 1,000 miles, and you're sitting here on your big fat butt with your motor running?" He says, "Turn off the motor on a goddamn Jeep." "Yes, sir," the major said. And I was laughing quietly, of course.
Pretty good advice. Who were you riding with when that happened?
Well, I was in the convoy.
Ah.
Yeah.
So it was your unit. He was telling
we were
your major to turn off the engine.
Yeah, because we were in the convoy. And I happened to be right in the Jeep and behind him.
Do you remember where that was?
No.
Was it in France or in Germany?
Oh, it was I think it was in France.
Uh-huh. Do you remember any of the towns that you went through in France?
I did. I had a map, and I had every place we stopped. And I had notes of how many guys were killed. And after I moved out of the house, I burnt the map, which was a very stupid thing to do, because everything in the war was on that map. So, anyway, stupid.
Remember any of the towns? Anything specifically stick in your memory?
No, I remember a lot of towns, but I can't remember the names anymore.
Any of the people that lived in the town specifically nice to you, do good things for you?
Yeah, because I spoke French and I spoke German. Not fluently, but pretty good. I could ask them anything and tell them what I wanted. But they were very nice to us. And naturally, I got all the drinks I wanted.
That's not bad.
Yeah. And well, they made soups. The French always had soups on the stove. And I love soup. So then they asked me if I seen their brother in New York, and I said, well, it looked like him. And, I just talked to them. And we had a good time talking. I had a good time eating. So I had the first, let's see, Calvados. That was the place of the cheap bourbon, is it? The French have a good whiskey, I don't know what it's called, but the cheap whiskey was Calvados. And I had all that I wanted. In fact, I didn't even like it. I liked the beer better. But they couldn't do too much for me.
I bet a lot of your buddies were jealous, huh?
Yeah. Well, I got a lot. One time I told them we like beef. I said, can you have a pig or a cow? Can you kill one and give us the meat? And I gave them like $20 bill in our money. And I was very stupid because, of course, what they did, the first cow or the first dead pig they found, they cut the meat off and brought it to us. And we would eat the meal, in about 10 minutes after we ate it, we all had diarrhea. And I mean, really bad diarrhea. So I wasn't a very popular guy for quite a while.
It wasn't the best quality meat.
That was right. I was too dumb to realize what they would do. Yeah, that's it.
I remember you talked about one particular time you were in a convoy and some German artillery was knocking out every other vehicle.
Oh, yeah. You would go down the hill and there was a sharp turn. And that's where they had you pinned. So each of the trucks went down and the shell would land near them. Luckily, well, a lot of the trucks got hit. Luckily, our turn, we came in, we turned there and turned around very slowly and made it down, and we didn't get hit. Oh, that was terrible. Going down like a dead pigeon and getting to that stopping place and turning. Oh, that was miserable. But we made it anyway.
How many people from your unit were lost during the war? Wounded or killed?
Oh, 2 or 3 days after the war, I was a fire direction man for the B battery, and the colonel went down there, and our army bombed the battery. They thought it was a German battery. Just 2 or 3 days before the war was over, and 19 men were killed, and I was right there. And Colonel Deloach came down and he just stood there crying. I didn't cry, but I felt like it. But he just, the tears just rolled. He didn't say a word. He just looked at 19 guys and dead, and then left. That's all I remember about that.
Was it aircraft? Our aircraft?
Yeah, it was our aircraft.
Bombed our position?
Yeah, well, you know, it's kind of tough. I guess they made a mistake. But they still killed 19 guys.
Do you remember what part of Germany that was? Where you were when the war ended?
It was in Czechoslovakia.
Ah.
Yeah. Just over the border of Czechoslovakia. That's where I was when the war ended.
Was it near Pilsen or?
Well, that sounds familiar, but I couldn't tell you. I don't remember the name of the town.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just I think we were 19 miles into Czechoslovakia, as I remember.
And how did you find out that the war was over?
I don't know. We had a radio. I guess there was a radio for the whole army. They had a radio station. So that's how we found out, yeah.
And so you remember celebrating?
Well, we celebrate, but I don't remember what I did. I don't remember that. I know it was very happy. I think we did a lot of drinking. I think that's what we did.
Now, I remember that you'd said before that you landed in Germany not too long after D-Day.
Yeah.
And that when you were in the Normandy area, there was some other units, including a black outfit.
Oh, yeah.
That was camped nearby.
Yeah, and they were doing a lot of drinking, and somebody thought that the Germans were coming, so they started shooting. They were actually shooting at each other. And the colonel roared over there in his Jeep, and he says, I'll shoot the first guy who's fired a shot. And they all had to throw down their arms. But they were a Negro group of anti-aircraft men, you know, shooting down the German planes, I think it was.
I see.
It sounded like a war going on over there. But the Germans were in any mile, 4 or 5 miles away, any of them. And that was just when peace was almost declared.
Huh.
Yeah, that was pretty sad.
Any of them some of them got hurt, some of them got killed?
Well, sure. A lot of them got killed.
They killed each other.
Yeah. Yep. And then our colonel came back and he says, I'll shoot the first man who fires a shot here. So nobody, we were all tense. We thought it was a war going on. So we just quietly put our carbines away, and that was that.
Huh.
Or carbines, I guess you call them.
Did you ever have to fire your carbine?
No, never fired. Not at any German soldier. We could have, after the war was winding down, the Germans were racing through the woods, you know, to get home. And we looked at him, and somebody said, if we could shoot him, why are we going to shoot him? The war's almost over. Let them go. So we let them go. They didn't shoot us, and we didn't shoot them. So I never fired my carbine at any man. Rabbits, yes, but not never fired a shot in anyone.
Did you get some rabbits?
Oh yeah. I was very smart. I dug a hole, and I put a carrot or something down the hole, and I put a stake with a wire noose. So the rabbits would run down the hole and put their head in there, and they strangled. So I caught 2 or 3 rabbits that way, and we cooked them. Boy, I thought I was a hero. And one of the southern soldiers, we called them hillbillies, he was smart. He watched where the rabbits ran, and he put his arm in there. He pulled out little bunnies, 2 or 3 or 12, 14 at a time.
Wow.
So they cooked them all. So I wasn't a hero after that anyway. But anyway, we ate rabbit, and they were good. They were very good.
Do you remember getting any other wildlife?
Yeah, I shot a couple of deer, and we ate those. I guess they were French. Yeah, the French cooked them. The ladies cooked them, and we ate them.
Did you have any leave while you were in the theater there? Did they give you a chance to go to a city?
Oh,
or
yeah. I think I went 17 weeks. Yeah, 17 weeks without a bath. The orders were, you have to shave and wash your face and brush your teeth every day, which we did. But taking a bath, no. I went to Nancy. We called it Nancy, what the French called Nantes. And they had a place where you took off your shirt. The only thing you kept was your boots. They took all your stockings and your shoes and your pants and underwear and everything. They burned it. They put it in a pile and burned it. And then they took a bath. So I got in the tub, and there was a young lady there, 16 or 17, a French girl. And I spoke French. And I took the bath, and the water was, filthy. So she made me get out, and she was going to clean the bath out. So I talked to her in French, and I asked her if I could have another bath. So I gave her a 25-cent coin, French money. And I had to stand there naked while she filled the tub up. And then I got back in there. And I never forgot that. The second bath I had, the water was as dirty as if you just took a bath, in civilian life.
Wow.
I thought I was clean, but I had that much more dirt on me. So I'll never forget how good it felt. I felt like I was floating in the air when I got out of that tub. Wonderful. I hadn't had a bath, I think it was 17 weeks. You had to shave your face and brush your teeth every morning, which we all did. So that was that.
Do you remember anything else about how long were you away from the front lines when you were in Nantes?
Oh, I had one leave. That was all. I got away from the firing line, and I think it was about 10 days or something. All I wanted to do was eat and sleep. That's all I did. Eat and sleep. And get all the beer I could get to.
How about when the war ended? How much longer did you stay there before you were able to come home?
I think it was 3 or 4 or 5 months, something like that.
And where were you for that time?
I don't remember.
Because you were in Czechoslovakia when the war ended.
Yeah.
Did you stay there, or did you go back farther into Germany?
I don't remember.
So you must become part of the occupation forces.
Yeah.
And I remember you used to play some music back then, right?
Oh yeah, I had one time I had 16 accordions, piano accordions in the truck. You travel in the fire direction when you have fire. What do you call it?
Fire missions and.
Yeah, well, when you have the howitzers, you pull them by a truck. Everything goes by truck, and there was only one other guy who played the accordion, and me. So the guys, when they all went looking in the houses, the infantry, and every soldier. They went in the houses looking for Lugers. And there's a lot of cameras there you could get, and a lot of accordions. So my fire direction trucks, they threw in 16 accordions. I had a concert grand accordion. I couldn't even play it standing up. It was so heavy.
Wow.
So I came back when I got to the United States. I went to Wurlitzer's and I bought a used accordion for $50. 120 bass accordion for $50, but because I couldn't take 16 accordions home with me, so that was the music I had. Yeah, I like to play accordion. When I got home, I played it for a year and I threw it away. Gave it to the minister of a church. And I haven't played an accordion since then.
What other instruments did you play when you were in Germany?
Well, I played the organ for the chaplain, for the services when we could. I had a little army organ. I didn't have it, he had it. He carried it. Where we had a service, he found somebody who could play the instrument, and then we would sing. So I played the organ quite often for him when we were out in combat. So that's the only music I had in Germany.
Did you have a band? Did you lead a band for a while?
Let's see. I had a choir. Yeah, I had a choir in I think Camp Shelby, and the guys were making fun of me because I led the choir. I taught the guys how to sing the songs, the voices, and then we would sing at various churches. And after that, they would take two or three guys to a family, to a home-cooked meal, and oh boy did we eat. So the guys, after they heard what was going on with the food we had, they were very, very envious of our choir because we really ate and met some nice girls, you know how it goes. And it was a good time. So choir singing was not a bad thing to do.
And that was in Camp Shelby in Mississippi?
Yeah. Before we went overseas, I think. This is all a long time ago, you have to remember.
A few years ago.
Yeah.
Now, did you get the chance to travel at all after the war ended when you were in Europe? Did you get a chance
yeah. I did a lot.
What did you get a chance to see?
I went to the French Riviera and I went to Italy, and I had a camera and I took pictures. That's what I did. Love to take the pictures. And as I say, I had maybe 1,500, 2,000 photos, something like that. And when I moved from that house where I was in, for a long time, I burnt all the pictures. I told you that before.
What do you remember from the French Riviera?
Oh, not too much. I don't know.
Did you have a chance to go to Paris before you came back?
No, I never went to Paris. I was Mont-Saint-Cécile, something like that. And that's what I remember in France. I never had a chance to go to Paris. But I had a good time because I spoke French and I talked to the people and I would drink the wine and the, what do you call it, the whiskey there. They had a name for it. Anyway, I drank a lot and I got good food. And I liked the French people. They were good.
How about the German people?
I like the German people better.
Really? Why?
Well, they were very friendly. The English people I disliked. They were very cold. I didn't care for the English soldiers, but the Germans and the French I liked. And I spoke German, so I liked them the best. Because I was German. My mother and father were German.
Did that ever become an issue with the people in your unit? Did they ever hold that against you, that you were German? You had German parents?
No. We were everything. We had every nationality there was. But I would say German was the most in the army.
Most common?
Yeah, most common. So I spoke German at home and I learned French in college. I had 2 years of French in college.
That's a great thing that you were able to do that.
Oh yeah, it was nice.
What do you remember about Army food?
It was good. It was good.
For the most part, they did a good job?
Oh, heck yeah. And even during the war, I would have some aviation gasoline. Always had a gallon of that in the truck. And when we in convoy, we stop sometimes for 3 or 4 or 5 hours. I would have a fire going, and I would cook whatever we caught rabbits. We ate a lot of rabbits. But sometimes we'd get a pig and kill it. If we were there 2 or 3 days or a week or 2, And I would cook a whole little pig. Oh, they were so good.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
After normal food.
Yeah,
did you eat a lot of canned food?
Yep, we did. Yeah, the canned rations, they were good. You could take that meat out of that can and you could make good meals out of it. Potatoes and eggs and onions. That's what we foraged for. We knew the farmers would have a trench in front of their house, maybe 2 or 3 trenches, and they would bury their potatoes in there, just under about 8 inches of ground. So the potatoes wouldn't freeze, and we would just come in and get a bushel of their potatoes and put them in the truck. We had potatoes and carrots and beets that we found in the ground when the farmers kept them. So when we had time, I'd have a fire and the guys would bring the food, and we would cut it up, boil it, cook it, and have a good meal. And we eat the rations with it. The meat rations in the can were good. You could fry them. Spam, we had a lot of spam. People made fun of it, but it was good. We would cook that, and potatoes and vegetables, but whatever we had, and we would eat that. Besides our rations, too. So we were not hurting.
Have you ever shoot birds or ducks?
Yeah. After the war ended, I had a shotgun, and I would go hunting with it and get pheasants, And, I guess that's all I shot with. It was birds, pheasants. And we'd eat those, and then we'd eat the farmers' pheasants too, or chickens, which we weren't supposed to do, but we did. And during the war, we killed a cow and cooked that. But the order came down, we should not shoot the animals of the friendly country we're in, like the French.
Right.
So one time we had a really nice piece of beef cooking, and the colonel came by, and he says, "Corporal Sagi," he says, "I assume that animal was killed by enemy aircraft?" I says, "Yes, sir." He says, "In that case, I'll have a piece." And he knew, and I knew that we were both lying. And so he had a big hunk of piece of the meat. So that was good food.
Did you bring anything special back from the theater?
I shipped a shotgun back and I think a couple of cameras. And lo and behold, the shotgun came through. It came through in perfect condition. I didn't think it would, I thought somebody would steal it along the way, but it didn't. And it was a beautiful shotgun. Beautiful. It was a famous gun maker. I don't remember the names now, but it was a very famous gun maker, and we were in that factory, and there were.
So you sold the shotgun for a camera, so you could get somebody to buy a camera.
Yeah.
How about the cameras that you shipped back? Did they make it back, or did somebody get those on the way?
No, they came back. Oh, I had all kind of cameras.
Did you keep any of those, or did you sell those off?
Oh, they disappeared.
Oh.
I have one, yeah. I have one good German camera. I think it's a Leica. And I don't use it anymore because I have the digital camera.
Oh, right. It's a lot better way to go these
Yeah.
days. So what do you think about your experience when you finally got home and you had a chance to talk to your parents and your other relatives about what went on in Europe?
Well, the German people were just, they weren't the enemy. They were just like us. We were drafted, and their sons, husbands, were drafted, and that they fought us, but we didn't hate the Germans, and they didn't hate us. Because so many of our parents in America are German. Mm-hmm. So the war, to me, was, I was not a very good soldier. We saw German soldiers coming back during the war when they were losing, they were running through the woods to go home. They didn't want to kill us, and we didn't want to kill them. So we saw them and we said, everybody yelled, don't shoot. We let them go. They had no guns. And what was the hell, what was the use of killing them? So we let them go and they didn't bother us. So I never fired a shot at any human being during the war, never. Mm-hmm. And I think if I had to, I probably would have shot over their heads. Because I didn't want to kill anybody. Mm-hmm. I don't believe in war, never did believe in war. So I'm not a war hero.
What do you think about the professionalism of the unit and the job that they had to do, the field artillery unit?
Oh!
Were they proficient? Were they?
Yeah, oh yeah. When it came to fighting the enemy with the slide rule, I was good. I mean, I worked my butt off with that slide rule. And we could, what you did was you'd fire a shot over the target. And then you'd bring it back in increments. But you weren't shooting at the target, you were shooting away. But when you had the artillery sighted in, then you would swing the barrels on the Germans' targets. And there were 4 guns to a barrel,
to a battery?
A battery, yeah. I forgot the nomenclature.
Yeah.
So there was 4 guns to a battery, so you would have 12 guns, 3 batteries we used. A, B, and C battery. I had B battery. Well, when you did that, then we would swing those 12 guns on the target. We knew where the Germans were. And we would fire, say, a volley of 4 shots, 4 rounds for each gun. So 36 shells would rain down on that poor German target. And they were all sighted in. That's how you did it.
And was the unit pretty effective?
Oh yeah, they were very effective. We had forward observers there. One time I misread my slide rule, and I forget the man's name. He was a first or second lieutenant. He was a forward observer. And my round, you fire 1 round away from the target. And so I put it over his head, you know. It was too close. And his name was Lindstrom. And he got on the air and he was so mad he couldn't hardly talk. What are you trying to do, kill me? But no, I didn't kill him. So we got along fine. That was a dangerous job that he had. He was about 50 yards away. He tried to be 50 yards as close as he could, or maybe 200 yards, whatever it was, to the enemy. Or maybe farther, I don't remember now. But anyway, he was up in front. He could see the enemy, and he directed the fire on them. So what we did, we would shoot 1 shell. Only 1 gun, 1 shell. We would shoot until we got it just where we were right. he had the right sighting. Then we would swing our guns, all 12 of them, 3 batteries, and we would fire on that target because we all had the range. So the poor Germans, all of a sudden 12 shells were whistling at them, and right in their hip pocket. And that's how you killed the Germans, with the howitzers. I never shot at anyone. All I did was I fought the war with a slide rule, as I said before.
Did Lindstrom survive the war? Do you remember?
Yeah. Headquarters battery didn't lose so many men, but some of the batteries, they lost a lot of men. I don't remember the figures anymore, but it was terrible. Like a battery of 200, maybe 79 men would be left after the battle. We got all kinds of replacements. I didn't even know their names when I was talking to them over the telephone. Yeah, we suffered a lot of casualties. Not so much headquarters, but the guns. They're the ones that naturally the enemy wanted to quiet. So they came under fire.
Were the guns ever threatened with being overrun?
I don't remember that. I don't. No, I couldn't say that. I don't know if they ever were or weren't. I don't think so, though. Not that I remember. Because if they were overrun, we would have been overrun. We came under fire a lot from artillery, but once in a while the Germans would have these very fast-moving cars with machine guns in them. And they would drive through and they would shoot at us. They knew where we were. But I don't remember it being shelled effectively. I was never hurt with a shell from the German shells. But a lot of bullets were flying. But I never got hit.
Any German aircraft ever attack your position?
Oh yeah. Yeah, they bombed us. But we had such good anti-aircraft fire that the bombs never got close to us. Our anti-aircraft fire was very, very deadly. So they never hit. They did in some of the gun batteries, but they never got headquarters back. As I say, we laid the telephone lines down and the radios and the fire directors. And we had a service battery. They bring the food and the ammunition and clothing, but the gun batteries they were the targets. We shot their gun batteries and they shot at our gun batteries. But the fire direction center was, we could be a mile away or eighth of a mile away or something like that. They laid telephone lines down to the batteries. But until they did that we had to use the radios. So after we had the lines down, and the enemy tried to find the lines with their artillery or their own jeeps and stuff. But we were behind, way behind the guns. So our casualties weren't too bad. There were a lot of them, but not too bad like the guns.
That's good. When you came back, did you march in any parades?
Oh, I don't remember. I did, but I don't remember. I didn't like that. I didn't like that. I wanted to forget the war. Some of the guys went to the, they had military units. I forget what they call them.
Reserve units? National Guard?
Yeah, National Guard and all that stuff. I didn't want any part of that. I wanted to be a civilian, so when I got home, that was it.
So you went back to college
Yeah.
as soon as you got back, or as soon as you could?
No, well, I had 4 years of college, and I never had a degree. I had 2 years and over 2 years in music college. At Cleveland Institute of Music. Then I had 2 years later at night school in Cleveland College, and in accounting. And but then I was working. I had a family, so I didn't want to put 2 more years of night school for college. So I have 4 years of college but no degree.
And you went to some reunions of your military unit?
Oh yeah, yeah.
What was the first one that you went back to?
I don't remember, but I went to a couple. Yeah. And then the guys kind of just faded out. They just didn't want any more to do with it. So I haven't been to a reunion in a long time.
But you used to attend pretty regularly?
Yeah, as much as I could.
Every 5 years or so, or?
That I don't know. I don't know how many I went to, but it finally dwindled to nothing. There are no more.
What was your favorite movie that you saw when you were over there in the theater? Did you get a chance to see any movies? Do you remember?
No. I remember the movie stars, though. I saw, Carol Burnett. I don't know. We had some movie stars, but I don't remember who they were.
That came in USO shows?
Yeah.
Ever see Bob Hope?
Yeah, I remember him. He was there, and he was right to front lines. They came right up to us. So when the Germans shelled, they could have got killed just as well as we would. So they were good. Jack Benny, and I saw him, and I saw Bob Hope, and I don't remember who the ladies were.